Hello everyone, welcome to the 100 drill class. We're going to start off with some phrases from our 100 sheet. Okay, so I will read you the phrases, give you, the way to write them, and then I will drill you on those. Okay, so the first one we have is ambulance, blance. And now the rest are going to start with as and end with as. Okay, so we've got as long as, SLONGS. Slongs. As far as, SFARS. So you're starting with S, ending with S. As many as, initial S, final MS. As much as, initial S, final FPS. The much is just FP, so it's pretty self-explanatory. As soon as, S, final NS. As near as, SNAERS. As well as, SW, final LS. Now, some people like to write it as SWELS, swells. If you get the word swells, you would just have to use the S as a comeback for the final Z because it's a plural word. So you could technically do that, SWEL, swell, come back for final Z. Okay, so let's drill those. Here we go. Ambulance, as long as far as many as much as near as soon as well as many as soon as far as, ambulance, as long as soon as much as far as near as. So if you find that you're struggling with those, I encourage you to go back and practice them. Just remember, if you've got a phrase that's as and a word with as, it's going to start with S and end with S. Okay? I know for me, it really helped as a student for me to write those down and kind of look at the family. And once I could see that they all had that in common, it really helped for me to remember how to write it. So that's just a tip there. All right, so let's go into some common phrases that people say. Again, a lot of these can be phrased on your machine, some can't. So you're going to hear the final can, like a phrase with like how can. So final K is your brief for can. Okay, you're also going to hear weather, and these are different from the last class, but you're going to hear weather, WHR, whether or not, WHRORN. Some people like to write it as WHRORNT. Okay, here we go. How can, if he can, if I can, it can, she can, so I can, so you can, that he can, that I can, that you can, there can, they can, this can, we can, what he can, what I can, what you can, when he can, when I can, when you can, where I can, where you can, whether he can, whether I can, whether or not he can, whether or not I can, whether or not you can, whether you can, which can, who can, you can, it cannot, she cannot, that cannot, they cannot, this cannot, we cannot, what he cannot, what I cannot, what you cannot, when he cannot, when I cannot, when you cannot, where I cannot, where you cannot, whether he cannot, whether I cannot. All right. Moving right into our next drill. I've got a number drill for you. These are Auto Club Child Seat Safety Education classes. Here we go. And these are different times, where they're located, and dates. Okay, here we go. Ready? March 10th, 6:30 to 8 p.m., Hoag Memorial Hospital, Conference Room, Building 44, OB Education, Level C, 1 Hoag Drive, Newport Beach, RSVP by March 9th. July 24, 6:30 to 8:30 p.m., Kaiser Permanente, Orange County, Health Pavilion Building, 200 North Lewis Street, Orange, RSVP by July 23rd. May 25, 9 to 10:30 a.m., Saddleback Memorial Care, Women's Center, Conference Level, 24551 Health Center Drive, Laguna Hills, RSVP by May 23rd. October 31st, 5:30 to 7 p.m., Inland Valley Memorial Hospital, 16200 Sand Canyon Avenue, Irvine, RSVP by October 29. December 13, 6 to 7:30 p.m., Mission Hospital, Women's Center, 26732 Crown Valley Parkway, Mission Viejo. April 21st, 6:30 to 9 a.m. p.m. Hoag Memorial Hospital, OB Education, Level C, 2050 Hot Springs Road, Highland, RSVP by April 20. Okay. I've got a drill here. This is A as in prefix. So you're using the long A as opposed to a long A as in an article A as opposed to a word that starts with an A. Okay, here we go. A firm, a cute. Now remember, these are all article A's. A claim, a mass, a loud, a cyst, a fair, a side, a test, a company, a part, a portion. Now I'm going to give you prefix words that start with an A. So you're using the short A. Firm, acute, claim, mass, loud, assist, fair, side, test, company, part, portion. Usually the reader will usually say for prefix A words as opposed to the article A, which is more spoken as A. So that's usually you'll be able to tell. Here are the sentences. Will you attest to the fact that a test will be given Monday? Aside from the fact that it is only a side issue, it is not important. It is a fair question for me to ask about the whole affair. I asked Dr. Jones to please assist me in removing a cyst. In a loud voice, he said that he would never have expressed his distaste aloud. If you keep it up, you will amass quite a mass of baseball cards. The acclaim you received will ensure that you have a claim on the title. Find a way to get away. Get a part from the stock room before you take the fixture apart. Did I hear you affirm that you will work for a firm in Portland? I will apportion it fairly, and each will receive a portion. Please accompany him when he looks for a company that will promote the game. Okay, we have time for one last drill since I did take some time up by talking, so we'll do one last drill. Okay, so back to the legal briefs. I'm going to give you the legal brief and the sentences. So the first one we have is credible. Credible is K-R-E-B-L, creble. The next one is credibility, K-R-E-B-L-T. Now, some people like to write it as K-R-E-D, come back for B-I-L-T, or come back for final B-L-T. That's up to you. But the brief is K-R-E-B-L-T. Here we go. We're going to start with credible, K-R-E-B-L. It was a credible story. His version of the accident was credible. She gave a credible account. Your statements must be credible. Moving on to credibility, K-R-E-B-L-T. His credibility was questioned by the judge. The credibility of their actions was in doubt. Our credibility must not be questioned. The government's credibility has been shaken. Okay, and that concludes our drill portion of the 100 class. Have a great day.